Today, I want to show you how you can integrate the FLUX.1 image generator into a make scenario. The FLUX.1 from Blackforestlabs is a pretty cool tool, fairly new, and if we go to the website here, we can see that the images are really impressive. Now, the only problem is that there isn't a public API for it yet. That means we have to go through a provider. At Pickard, we've been focused on quality and process optimization for over 40 years. With automated processes, you relieve your company of routine tasks, have much less manual work, and can focus more on your core business and value creation. If you want to know more, just book a call with me. You can find the link below in the description. That could be, for example, Replicate or Fal.ai. In this example, I'm using Felay and I have to log in here with my GitHub account. And once I'm on the dashboard, what do I need? Basically, there are two things. First, I need an API key. I can generate it here, and it will be displayed securely. I need to load a few euros into my account. And when I go to explore here, I can find all the modules or models that I can use. What I'm interested in is FLUX.1 Pro, which is the best model from FLUX.1. And here again, we need two things. First, we need the address, meaning the function we have to call, which we can find here. And as we can see up there, this is a post function. So let's just get started. Let's go to make.com, create a new scenario, select HTTP, make a request, and paste the URL here. The method was post. And now we need to see how we can authenticate ourselves here. For that, we need a header. And that's also described here. We see that I need the word authorization. And then, as the value, key, a space, and then my API key. So, that means I go in here to authorization, type in key, space, and then paste my API key here. What else do we need? We need to set the body type to raw and the content type to JSON. Now, here in request content, we need the JSON document that we'll use to call FLUX.ai. Then I go to JSON here, and here we find this JSON document. And if you're interested in the details, all the parameters, you can look them up here under API, schema, input. Here you can read about all the parameters. And what I want, for example, is landscape 16:9. That means we'll be changing this one parameter. But I don't actually want to copy it in here right now, because normally I would embed this into some other scenario where the prompt comes from somewhere else. So for now I'll just click OK here and first create a variable. And the variable, I first need to connect it here. Then I'll name it set image prompt. And then we'll call it image prompt. That way, it'll just be easier to use later on. So, what do we see here? Basically, this is exactly the prompt that we want. And now I'm going to use my standard example that I always use, namely, a photo of Darth Vader in a pink dress riding an e-scooter in Times Square. And what's interesting about this prompt, aside from the fact that I find it pretty funny, is it contains an incredible amount of information even though it's very short. We have a photo, we have a specific person, Darth Vader, who also needs to be recognized, wearing a specific outfit, namely this pink dress, doing a specific activity, he's riding an e-scooter, and at a specific location at Times Square in New York. So, we want landscape 16:9. Alright, we'll leave the other parameters as they are. So, Here in request content, we enter the image prompt. It's also important that we set pass response to yes here so that the result can be further processed. Then we'll also rename this to create FLUX.1 image. Alright, and now we need to run this because we first need the output in order to be able to process it further. That means I click on run once here. And it looks like I did everything correctly. So now it's running. And this is why I really like Fal.ai here, because I don't need an extra webhook, since the function is synchronous. That means it's sent to FLUX.1, and the system waits until the image is finished. And now we can see it's finished running. And if I click up here now, then basically down here under output, data, images, we should see something. Down here we can see the URL. Yeah, we can check it out right now. Let's open a new tab. And let's take a look. Yeah. Okay, the image is really cool. So, as we can see, it basically worked. How can we process this further now? Well, for example, by using get a file to download the image. Let's just do that now. So here, we have the URL as data, images URL. And then, in my Google Drive, I created a folder called FLUX.1. Now we'll just upload it to this Drive folder. Google Drive. Upload. File. So, I already have a connection set up here, which means you would normally have to create one first if you don't have it yet. Then, I select the shared drive. You can then select BPA here, which stands for Business Process Automation, and then I choose the folder. That's under How-Tos, and then FLUX.1 should show up here. Exactly. And the cool thing is, Google Drive already recognizes get a file here, meaning this element at the front, so it can upload it directly there. Okay, alright, let's rename it. Download image. Upload image to Drive. If I were to use Airtable, for example, then I could skip this get a file step because Airtable can process the URL directly from the HTTP and, for example, load it straight into its table. Okay, what's going on here? There's still an error showing. I probably just need to save it again. Alright. So, now, we should basically have everything we need. That means I'll run the whole thing again. Image prompt is sent to FLUX.1. We have to wait a few seconds. Then the image will be downloaded and uploaded to Drive. It worked. That worked too. Now let's go to our Google Drive. We need to refresh here. Oh, come on. Wonderful. So, that's how I can integrate FLUX.1 into a make scenario, and if you want, you can just download this blueprint. I've put the link for it below the video. Have fun with it. Bye.